Environment Act, Air Act, Water Act and Labour Law. First you will see Environment Act 1986. It is called Environment Protection Act of 1986. It is a legislation for environmental protection and it empowers the central government to take measures to safeguard and improve the environment and to set standard for pollutants, to regulate the industries and to coordinate environmental effects, and it is enacted in response to the Bhopal gas tragedy to implement international decision, and it provides a comprehensive framework beyond specific pollution laws like Water Air Act. The objectives and powers of this act: it is the central government is the authority. The central government grants the center broad powers to take necessary measures, including planning nationwide programs, setting quality standards, and preventing pollution. Next objective is pollution control. It enables setting standards for emissions, discharges, restricting industrial locations, and directing closure or regulation of polluting activities. Next is coordination. It coordinates state governments and agencies for effective environmental management, and a comprehensive framework to provide for the protection and improvement of environment and related matters, coordinated actions under various laws. What are the salient features of this Environment Act? First is empowerment. It gives the government power to issue directions and impose penalties. Scope. It covers environment including air, water, land and their interrelationships, as well as human beings and other creatures. Penalties. It imposes imprisonment up to 5 years and or fine up to 1 lakh for violation, with the extensions also possible. So it is mainly in response to the Bhopal gas tragedy. It is a direct consequence of 1984 Bhopal gas tragedy, aiming to prevent similar disasters in the future. How it works? Now, standards and regulations. They lay down the standards for pollution and handles hazardous substances. Next is enforcement. It empowers authorities to inspect, take samples and conduct inquiries. Then tribunal. It allows for appeals to the National Green Tribunal. So the Environment Protection Act 1886, it acts as a crucial overreaching law that fills the gap in the environmental laws for ensuring the holistic protection and improvement of India's environment. Next we will see the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. This Air Act, or Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, it is a comprehensive Indian law which is enacted to combat rising industrial air pollution by establishing regulatory bodies which are central and state boards to set standards, to monitor emissions, and also to enforce penalties for violations, so that it fulfills the India's commitment to UN Stockholm Conference decisions. It defines air pollutants including noise and pollution, and it mandates pollution control equipment for industries, and it grants powers for sampling, investigation and prosecution, with penalties up to imprisonment for non-compliance. The key aspects of this act: the objective is to prevent, control and abate air pollution in India, and it addresses health and environmental degradation from industrialization. Then the regulatory framework, it creates central and state pollution control boards, that is CP, and SPCB, to implement the rules, issue consents and oversee the compliance. Also defines air pollutant including noise and air pollution in terms of concentration injuries to the life of our environment. What are the powers and functions? The board can set standards, inspect premises, take samples, issue directions like Section 31A of this Act, and delegate powers. Penalties: it imposes imprisonment and fines for violation, with the specific penalties for continuous offence, corporate liability, and government department failures. Funding: the boards are funded by government contributions, grants, and donations. Amendments are done by Air Prevention Control Pollution Amendment Act is 1987. Now, why it is important? The Act serves as a crucial environmental legislation in India, providing legal backbone for managing industrial emissions and safeguarding public health against pollutants like particulate matter and noise, especially given the high pollution levels in major Indian cities. As you know, New Delhi is the highly polluted city in the whole of the world. Next, we'll see the 1974 Water Act. The 1974 Water Act, it is Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. It is a landmark Indian law designed to prevent and control water pollution, to maintain water quality, that is wholesomeness, and to establish pollution control boards, central and state boards, to implement these goals, giving them powers to set standards, grant consents for discharges, and penalize polluters. So it prohibits discharging excessive pollutants into streams and wells without consent, and it mandates reporting accidental discharge, and it creates framework for water governance in India, and it is supplemented by 1977 SIS Act and amendments. The key objectives and provisions of this Water Act: first is prevention and control to stop water pollution and restore water quality. Then establishment of boards. It creates Central Pollution Control Board (CPCB) and State Pollution Control Board (SPCB). Then consent mechanism. It requires industries to get permission or consent from SPCB before discharging sewage or trade effluent. Then prohibition. The Section 24 gives it bans putting polluting matter into the streams and wells beyond board set limits. Then information and reporting. In Section 31, it mandates industries to inform the board about accidental poisonous discharges. Penalties: it imposes imprisonment and fine for non-compliance, including failure to get consent or obstruct board work. The scope: it is applied initially to several states and union territories, with the others can also be able to adopt it. What are the related legislation? Water Prevention and Control Pollution Cess Act 1977. It levies a cess or tax on water consumed by industries to fund the board. Then amendments: 1988 amendment and 2003 amendment. They have strengthened the provisions, adding penalties for non-compliance with board orders. So the significance is it forms the foundation for India's water pollution control framework and empowers regulatory bodies to manage and protect water resources. Next, we will see labor laws. The labor law or employment law, they are regulations governing the relationship between workers, employers, and unions, covering wages, safety, working hours, discrimination, and social security. So, India is consolidating 29 laws into 4 codes for simplified and modern welfare, ensuring minimum wages, gender equality, and protections for gig workers. These laws set standard for fair treatment, safe environment, fair pay, that is a minimum of 4 floor wages, overtime at 2-time rate, etc. Then paid leave, and they also address industrial relations. Now, the key aspects of labor laws, mainly India, the wages establishes minimum or floor wages, ensuring gender equal pay and a mandatory overtime 2 times the normal wages. Working condition, it set maximum 8 hours per day or 48 hours per week. It requires safety measures and allows women in night shift with safeguards. Then social security, it extends benefits like PF, ESI, gratuity to gig or platform workers. Then industrial relations, it governs union recognition, collective bargaining and unfair practices. Documentation, it makes appointment letters mandatory for all workers. Then simplification, India's 4 new codes: wages, IR, social security, IR, industrial relations, social security, and OSH, it is occupational self and hazard, aim to simplify complex rules. It is occupational self and safety and health. What they cover is individual rights, that is minimum wage, leave, dismissal rules, working hours, etc. Then collective rights, union formation, bargaining, disputes. Then health and safety, workplace standards, hazardous conditions, etc. Then anti-discrimination, prohibits bias based on gender or identity. Why they exist? Labor laws, they arise from industrial revolution to balance the worker rights, better conditions or unions with the employer needs, that is predictability and efficiency, and they address the power imbalances in the employer-employee dynamic. Next we'll see machine guarding. Machine guarding is barriers, devices and systems like shields, light curtains and interlocks to protect the workers from hazards from moving machine parts, preventing injuries like amputations, cuts and crush injuries by blocking access to dangerous areas, and controlling flying debris and stopping hazards like nip points and rotating parts. So it is a critical safety measure mandated by bodies like OSH, that is Occupational Safety and Health Administration, to ensure workplace safety, requiring guards to be secure, not create new hazards, and allow for safe maintenance with consistent use, which is vital to preventing accidents. Now, hazards in metal removing processes. Metal removing processes like machining, grinding, cutting, they pose hazards like flying chips, metal dust or fumes, noise, vibration, hot surfaces, cut and crashes, slips and falls, and exposure to hazardous fluids, causing respiratory issues, skin or eye damage, hearing loss, musculoskeletal disorders, burns, and physical trauma, requiring strict PPE, that is personal protection equipment, ventilation, and safe work practices to control risk. Health hazards. Next, we'll see what are the health hazards. Inhalation, that is fine metal dust, fumes like chromium, manganese, lead, and oil mist from cutting fluids cause respiratory problems, lung diseases, and systemic issues. Then noise and vibration. High noise levels causing hearing loss, prolonged vibration leads to musculoskeletal disorders, that is hand-arm vibration syndrome. Then skin eye contact, sparks, hot chips, and metal fluids cause irritation, burns, and potential long-term skin and eye damage. Then microbial contamination. Water-based fluids can grow bacteria, fungi, causing respiratory and skin issues.